Good morning. It is Scott with Scott Off-Road. I want to talk to you about this refrigerator here. This is the Rough Country. I believe it's a 42-liter refrigerator freezer. And it was economical. Matt and I looked at refrigerator coolers or refrigerator freezers at Overland West, and we're talking $800 to $1,000 and more for a refrigerator to sit in the back of the Jeep. And that is outside my budget. And then on a trip to Omaha at a local four-wheel drive shop, I found this little beauty for $399, brand new, by Rough Country. I like it. This thing is pretty freaking cool. It doesn't come with much, but it's a refrigerator. What else is it supposed to come with? You get the refrigerator. You get a 12-volt plug-in that uses a cigarette lighter adapter or 12-volt power port, and then it has an adapter to plug into 110. So you can run this in the back of your Jeep or the back of your truck on your trip. When you get where you're going, take it inside, plug it in the house, so you don't even have to unload it. Again, I am happy with this, but I did have problems. I had a lot of problems with this on the first trip. I'm still working out those problems, but I'm still happy, and here's why. This has a feature in it in the factory setup that will allow the refrigerator to run. It will be economical, it will not run a lot, and when it detects a voltage drop that it feels will drain your battery to the point where your vehicle will not start, it shuts off the refrigerator and throws an error code. There, it sounds great. Loaded it up, ran it on our first trip, worked great all the way down to Kansas from Nebraska. The next day, I had to unplug it to charge RC car batteries and camera batteries, and I had it unplugged for a half an hour, and it went up over 25 degrees in temperature. Again, not happy. When we left on the trip, we had frozen steaks, cold water, everything was pre-chilled and loaded in here. And by day 2, everything was thawed. So the day down there, overnight, the next day, everything was thawed. And I was getting temperature readings in the 50s inside the cooler. Again, not real happy. Overnight, this thing would run for 30 seconds, then shut off, and beep and show alarms for a minute and a half, and the alarms were low voltage. By this time, it was Monday morning when I got up. Nothing that was left in the refrigerator was cold. It was cool, but not cold. Called Rough Country. They'd never heard of the problem. They were going to do some research and get back to me. And yeah, they did. Really wasn't just kind of a basic answer saying they'd never had the issue. So I continued to look into it. And what I did is bought a couple cheap thermometers, one for the chiller section, the freezer section, one for the chiller section. Put those in there, and I adjusted the settings on the cooler. And I turned it from economical to fast cool, and I turned the setting from high battery protection to low battery protection. And that seemed to do the trick. It runs when it needs to run, and it keeps everything cold. I also kept track of the temperatures for several days at different temperatures. And what I found is the temperature gauge on the front of this really isn't that accurate. There's about a 8-9 degree temperature swing from what this said and what was actually inside. So if you get one of these, And I recommend you do. I am really happy with this cooler despite those learning issues that I had with it. I really recommend that for $400 you cannot go wrong with this little unit. But buy yourself a thermometer, put it inside, and spend a few days getting to know your cooler. Set your temperature to what you think you want it at, and then check your thermometer temperature inside. Now it will vary. If it is super hot outside, your refrigerator is going to work harder in the Jeep. If it's in the direct sunlight, it's going to work harder than if it's nice and cool out. But the principle is the same. Find the temperature you want, set it at it, verify it over a couple days inside with your thermometer. If you need to, adjust your temperature out here up or down and see if it gets you where you want to be. Again, this thing is rated to freeze, and it did. I had it on frozen and it kept some frozen stuff frozen, and again, I'm really happy with it. It's a full-time part in the Jeep. I love it because now when I go grocery shopping, we can put our chilled items inside here, fire it up. If we have to make some other stops, we're good. Again, can't say enough about how great this thing is. Did have a learning curve. I think you're going to have that with anything. I'm happier with this in this learning curve, spending $400 than spending $1,000 on a different brand and having the same learning curve. My understanding on those $1,000 units is it's the same issues. So have yourself a blessed day. Remember, you fix the Jeep fixes you.